Tex. Is it good even? But anyway, I think, man, it's a way of just showing appreciation. It doesn't have, especially if it's not forced on you, right? Then it's a way of showing appreciation. So it's a good way because we have to, be grateful and show that we are, grateful for everything that your parents have gone through to put you through school and whatnot.
Black tax. We come from backgrounds where giving back is more like a lifestyle. But I feel like you should let Lomumfu akhone something. Because now if you draw from what is just starting out, it's like hlephula isihlahla lesincane while it's still a seedling sengakhuli kwaba netimbali and seeds so that akhone give back.
I think it's whereby parents or your family are expecting you to pay back or do some things for them after they have educated you and have done everything for you. So they expect you to do everything in return.
Black tax. Well, I think it depends, man. It's a good and a bad thing.
So that's why I'm saying I think it's paying them back their money after they have done everything for you.
And then it's a bad thing only if it's forced on you because you're also a human being. You have your needs, especially as you grow up. You've got things to do, so you should be given that space to do what you want to do.
I feel like you have to wait until the cup is full and then overflowing. Please give us a chance a bit, yeah.
Ngibuka ngazuthi kungalunga nangabe lenzaba ye black tax ingabuka ngaleli hlangothi lokuthi awukho obliged, awukho forced ukuthi uyikhiphe.
It depends on what your parents did for you. Because sometimes if your parents or the family members did contribute to you being where you are now, I feel it's only justified that you take care of them now on.
Okay, black tax is good. No. It's bad. Because for me, black tax, it's when you are drawing from an empty cup. It's when you're helping people and when usengabi stable. So no. Abasmele batel kancane sibe ready. Then stop sesiyabuya ke asibaleki.
Sanibonani maswatla mahle, especially bantu labasha basevenda seswatini siyanemukela ihlelo lolusha specifically or specially for the festive season. This is what is called Straight Up with myself, Nokuphila Masangana. This is a special program, for the young people of Eswatini. Ukuthi sihlale phasi kunalithuba lesilitholile. Salinikwa Eswatini TV abambisene ma partners ethu lafaka ikhathi emlilwane Wildlife Sanctuary ukuthi sikhulumise tindzaba, problems and even challenges that we face as young people in the kingdom of Eswatini. It's been a long year. It's time for us to maybe sit back, relax, and a form of unwinding, and talk about what matters. So today is no different. Sikhulumisa indaba your work-life balance, lefaka ikhathi family dynamics and black tax. There's the idea that, I don't know if I should call it an idea, but the expectation from family we would see around this time of the year kufuna ngabe so pakshendo tako so lungela ukuthi uye ngasekhaya to spend that money, to spend that hard-earned money, mhlambe nalawo ma savings that you've been saving for the entire year. There's so many expectations, emotional, spiritual, and of course social expectations when it comes to that. Namhla igest yethu lesinayo nguNomalungelo Dladla, singer-songwriter and an entrepreneur, to talk to us about her perception of isihloko sethu sanamuhla, family dynamics, black tax, and of course how to balance, have a good balance of her work and life. Noma, good evening, welcome. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm beautiful, and it's such an interesting conversation to have, so I'm really happy to be here and to have this conversation with you.
Great honor to have you.
Yeah.
We trust that you help us through and handle this one.
So.
Hopefully.
I hope so.
And then the young people will also learn from you.
Yes, that's
slash
you.
you
The things that we must be talking
aunt,
about.
elder. You've been around though.
I have, and with respect to myself and with respect to my family and my community at large, I think I've been allowed the time to be in this industry for a very long time. I do hope that my insight or my perspective today is better because of that experience.
Yeah. So you've been in the music business for years now. Also at an early age, once was a TV presenter.
Yes,
but we're talking about the aspect a musician now. You know, around this time of the year, ukhanza ukuthi like generally normally as a young person batali babheka ukuthi saluvela phela Nomalungelo ngasekhaya mva nami. You've spent quite some time in the urban areas. Come and spend time with the family. That's sakugcina, you know. But Nomalungelo, the musician or the singer, says, but I have 10 gigs in December, which I need to show up to because of the financial aspect of things, you know. How have you been able to balance that, you know? Ukuthi ngakhismusi nje kunathuwe ama gigs lenye sembabani kamanzini ekhayeni nangabe kuqala vundlamandi, they still expect you to show up on that Christmas day.
It's weird. Like, I think at the peak of my career, I had grown accustomed to the fact that kismusi ngudla emitini yebani. I would even say this to myself, ukuthi ngabe ngiudla kabobani
This
ke.
year.
And I would get so excited because as a musician, I think the one thing that is absolutely amazing about the craft is learning to see people in their spaces and learning people's cultures and seeing people's stories. You know, gonge in a way is part of the work. So you must divorce yourself from the idea that things are going to be linear and you're not in a it's not a normal career, right? And you are going to be blessed with a lot, right? And to whom a lot is given, a lot is required. So the sacrifice at times may be family time, you know, but that doesn't mean that you can't balance it out. Because just because everyone is choosing to make Christmas, you know, the time for family time, it doesn't mean you can't say to your family, I'm choosing to make Thanksgiving when people aren't really like hyped up and, you know, trying to make up time, you know, that time where you're like, nang thousand, ngicela sithengeni inhloko noma sithengeni imbuti, ngicela nibuyeni ekhaya and let's be together. You know, your how you manage the time is going to differ. But it also does mean planning and being deliberate. You know.
Time is currency. So if you don't plan on your time, the amount of time that you have, a lot. And speaking also of that, you know, prioritizing and planning on that time, you know, I'll make an example of Tyler. Tyler was last year invited, you know, to headline Coachella. You know, unfortunately couldn't make it. You know, health reasons were cited, and so many other reasons. And this person prioritized, you know, what comes first. You know, you know what? I'd rather lose the gig, the money. You know. But we can't do that. You know, we can't do that.
That's not true.
How does it work?
That's not true. You know, I think the concept of wellness is holistic, right? There's financial wellness, there's emotional wellness, there's social wellness, there's things that maybe someone who's in the corporate sector is going to engage with, like, we're having a wellness program, you understand? And it's easy for you to talk about wellness because it's so linear. But the wellness of an artist is a different ballgame. And we aren't talking about it. Right? My financial wellness is different to yours. That's why so many artists have been accused of dying broke. I'm not sure if it's an accusation or it's a real thing. You know what I mean?
Blame.
So the financial wellness of a creative is way different to that of a 9-to-5er. You know, the physical wellness, right? Sabadle ma drugs.
Yeah.
No, it's because the time, 5 gigs in a day, is at some point going
not
to
easy.
need
Yeah.
you to be
Enhance
awake,
your
you know,
energy and-
enhance your
yeah,
energy.
yeah.
So the physical wellness of a creative is way different, and we aren't addressing these because there's not a lot of us. But in truth, we must have a conversation about it because we influence so many people. Ngimunye ke phangatiwa nqumbu yebantfu, yabo. So my health is in retrospect the health of my community.
Everyone else,
you know.
yeah.
So we're complaining now about Diddy, but Diddy
And
had
the moment
so
moment
many
you're on that
social
pedestal,
issues,
there's so many of
Yeah.
us that look
So
up to
many
you and
issues.
expect you to be perfect.
So
even
many issues. These creatives are having so many issues, and from like a psychologist perspective, you're just like, oh, this one, shame, childhood trauma.
Yeah.
Shame,
Like,
this
yeah.
one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the wellness of the creative is different, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, right? The culture of even opening that window hasn't been around, you know, and it's only now that we are insisting because we are seeing, you know, your ditties and the impact they have on
Yeah.
our communities,
Yeah.
that we're like, okay, actually, you guys need to sit down
Yeah.
and face reality,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
true.
and yeah.
Okay, but now, okay, we need to be real about, you know, most of these issues, you know, what maybe a creative, who's a musician or any
Yeah.
other kind of creative goes through, like
Yeah.
emotionally, the perspectives or even, you know, the environments or climates of that,
Yeah.
you know, differ, you know. But how do I set those boundaries? Nomalungelo, I'm a singer, you know, there's expectations from society. Nomalungelo, kwayingane. There's the family, you know. Now, Nangabu firstborn, it's even worse. You're the elder sister,
Yeah.
you need to show
Yeah.
up. There's also when personally you need to take care of yourself, you need to show up for yourself,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
How do I set those boundaries, you know, to say, you know what, guys, home, wait a bit, as much as it's Christmas,
Yeah.
I need time to myself.
Yeah.
I need to, this is Christmas for me this year. It's different this time, you know. How do I set boundaries, even for business partners?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the topic of boundaries is so complicated, right? Because it really does depend on your personal goals, right? You will set your limitations in accordance to where you're going, your goal setting, right? So, for example, I need the gigs that I'm getting this year because this December, because I need them to power the next album.
Yeah,
Right.
true.
So I have to set my boundaries around making sure this goal is met so that the next one comes through.
True.
So it's literally, you must be deliberate about your life. And people always look at artists and they're just like, oh my God, these people. But you can't be an artist if you can't time manage.
True.
If you can't, like, the most successful artists are the ones who are aksi OCD mvana andi kuyi work ethic lengabuyele muva. You understand? Like the level of discipline. Because for a singer-songwriter, nje, you are an athlete in terms of your lungs, your lung capacity. You are I don't know, like a well-read person, because you must sit down and have conversations. This is an interview now. What do you bring to the table in terms of your mind? You understand? So really, like, being a creative is just being self-disciplined. So time managing, it's goal setting. Family will know because you will manage your time.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Noma. Let's carry on with the conversation after. There's more that we need to touch on.
ma'am.
It will get a bit deeper.
Okay.
You know, when we come back. Mbugeli, let's take a short break. Nasibuya sekubeka naye Nomalungelo sikhulumisa indaba ye work-life balance and of course family dynamics and black tax. Welcome back from the break. Siyaqhubeka nayo inkulumo yethu lo mhla ehlelwe Straight Up, a youth-oriented program for you by you, youth of Eswatini. Namhla sinehlanhla lenhle ukuthi sina Nomalungelo wakadladla, who's a singer, songwriter and entrepreneur. Sifuna kufunza kuye uthi usol elder nyalo, rich aunt, and there's a bit of youth in her left, so what better way for us to sit down with someone like her and basically learn this festive season. Noma, we carry on with setting boundaries, right? How do we set these boundaries? Where do we set them? Because the expectations are high, they're heavy on us.
I think so in terms of your life, some lady used to explain this as a circle.
Okay.
There has to be like a circle that is within you. This is the one that I need to survive myself.
Okay.
Right? So this is your personal boundary.
Okay.
Me. I'm going to make time for myself. I'm going to make time for my skill.
Okay.
To develop my skill.
Okay.
And I think for me that one is always the most important. Right? And then comes your family, right? These are the people that you go home to. These are the people who are affected by your wellness, by you not being okay, So that would probably be your second circle. And then lastly, then there's the career, like the work,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
It's important, yes, but can it not take precedence when it comes to you and your person? When you start feeling that, I'm feeling a bit burnt out because of work, right? Know yourself first, so that you know when that thing is affecting you.
Yeah. When it
So
creeps
for
up,
me, so for me, the first circle is to know thyself.
Okay.
Right? Who are you? What are your limits? What are your goals?
Okay.
How are you planning to get there? What do you want? What do you need to have in order to get there? Once you've set those, right, that, okay, these are the things that I want, then ngeke phela make bese wena so uyahamba uyowenda nakuya kani you want to get this done.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
You have the
so
plan
now
on.
that's the first your first point of control, right? Right. So you're going to control, that's your first boundary, control yourself, right? So that you are able to say, well, family, you guys are now trying to eat in on my personal goals
time, yeah.
and the things that I've set up for myself.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I don't have this money to spend on this Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't have it.
Yeah.
Why? Because everything that I have is working towards me getting a new car, me getting a new house, me getting a new, you understand?
Which is some of the expectations.
Yeah,
you need to have that car.
You set those boundaries, you set those goals for yourself. You want those things for yourself. Those things are going to empower you. They're going to make you feel good about yourself. They're going to make you feel confident.
Enrich your career even.
Yeah, enrich your career even. So now, the moment your family starts eating into, I need you here. Uhambile wena, sola ubuyile ekhaya, uthi ngidlani mina. You understand? You know then that, okay, actually, you are affecting me and my personal development. You're a problem. Let's talk about that. Let's deal with that, right? You'll know this for as long as you deal with the first circle, right? Everything else is easy to see, right? It's everything else that comes into your life is then easy to manage. You'll know when work is a lot. You'll know when people at work are messing with your system. Like, because uyamati lo muntu lo phila kuye uyabona. Lo mtimba lona uyawati wako. You understand? So if anything that's happening outside of this personal circle is now giving you anxiety, like, I have to go to work, like I can't. My
That's
boss is
toxic.
always my boss is, you understand? You know yourself, know thyself. The moment you know thyself, then it's easy. All of these things, like, oh no, sir, actually, I'm not working on a Sunday, and the foot has landed. No. You'll get that work on Monday morning. Thank you very much.
True.
And you
True.
know.
True.
Yeah.
Now, kunendzaba black tax also, because we've touched on the expectations in general. Ukuthi wena ufuna ubukeke kanjena, wena ufuna ube nemoto, ufuna ube ne-apartment, bought an apartment, indzaba black tax, do you relate with that? Have you maybe, heard anything about it?
I-order yase-Africa, ne? It's, you guys have had over 400 years of being oppressed.
Okay.
You are not having black tax. You must change the mindset to collective development.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't leave anyone behind. And if your family is left behind, you have a problem.
Yeah.
Right? There's a problem at home. Because now you're the guy who's driving a Mercedes Benz, but you're coming
Parking
home
next to him,
You
cuckoo.
get what I mean? So it is very important that you don't perceive it as black tax. It's not black tax. It is decolonization. It is decolonization.
Yeah.
Right? You
Yeah.
are being deliberate about liberating. But not first yourself. Not yourself only, saying it's first yourself.
Okay.
Definitely first yourself.
Yourself, yeah.
Happy esikolweni evithi ufunda ubuye ube ngudokotela ne,
Ubuye
but
liberate labanye.
in as much as you are going out with Doctors Without Borders to go and contribute to pro bono work, start here at home. It's decolonizing your own family. They need it.
Yeah, they do.
Right? They need it.
They do.
And they wouldn't be asking if they didn't.
Yeah.
Right? So be mindful and don't be hurt or feeling oppressed because oppression has been happening in Africa for a very long time.
Yeah.
Right? So we must hold each other's hands to say we are collectively moving out. Don't go to someone's $1 million company and design systems when you have none at home. You understand?
True.
Because in as much as you could go and have like a stokvel M17, you can have one for your family.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
You can start as a system to micromanage the burdens of your family.
True.
Right?
True.
And in that way, you're also now setting boundaries to communicate. Oh, this is how much I can. But don't be in a position where you are not trying to because you feel as though, oh, it's black text. Forget that word.
Yeah.
Actually throw it out.
Yeah.
You are decolonizing your family.
You're
Right.
colonizing.
You are decolonizing. Colonization ne?
By
Loku,
setting them free.
The pain that your family is going through now is they are victims of years of being underprivileged. So now, how dare you assume ukuthi le tinkomo tala ekhaya lethambe tayofundisa wena was just so that you can be okay. You understand? And how many generations of people have fought to bring you here? That all of a sudden you feel that it's not for anyone but you. You understand?
True.
No.
True.
You can set boundaries at home and design systems like you do when you go to your bosses.
To try and remedy the whole situation, because so let's try and manage it, very nicely and professionally.
And it can be.
Yeah, if
It
we
can
can.
be.
Yeah, if we can. That's really nice. As we head out of the show today, what advice would you give to a young person watching right now who's going through it? There's so much expectations, pressures, from the family. Advice, just one piece of advice.
Don't bite more than you can chew, right? For as long as you come as you are, right, and say, oh, this is what I can do.
Okay.
Noma bangakukwatela kwani, shiya lo nembeza wakho clean to say, this is what I communicated to you, that I can only do this much.
Yeah.
Ne? And then set your boundaries, know thyself, so that you can know how much of yourself you can give to anyone else.
on.
That, yeah.
Yeah, that's quite nice, straightforward.
Yeah.
Noma, thank you so much for joining
Thank you so much
us
for
today.
having me.
I feel like you have so much to share.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully we'll create some other time, you know, to talk about many other important things.
Yeah.
You touched a bit on the music business, a lot that goes on there. The fact that as the public, your fanatics, there's a few things that we don't understand, you know, when it comes to the climate of, you know, the business, especially in Eswatini, you know. So hopefully we get the time, you know, sometime soon. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an absolute pleasure being here. I hope we were enlightening today.
Yes, of course, hopefully. Mbukeli, Eswatini TV, lihlelo Straight Up. Thank you so much for joining us today, especially when Nokuphila musha wasevenda kangwane ngiyethemba ukuthi kuningi lokufunzako lihlelweni kuningi futhi losetokufundza sisibe sikuphethe kule festive season. We got you this festive season. We've got a couple of conversations to start now. Lihlelweni Straight Up. Make sure that you watch the show on a weekly, and of course siyahamba ngesibonga kakhulu Eswatini TV, one for giving us the platform as the youth, and of course Umlilwane Wildlife Sanctuary abambisene angaphansi kwe Big Game Parks, you know, for giving us lenzawo lena ukuthi sikhona ukuthi sithwebule umsebenzi wethu sikulethele wena kumabona kutsa wakho. Until next time, make sure that you are mindful and always ask or seek for help, because you do. Until next time, good night.